Good morning. I haven't done just a video, not trying to keep it 45 seconds for a reel. And there's so much that's been on my heart that I really want to share and feel like there's so many of you out there that are going to resonate with what I share that I just wanted to kind of open it to discussion. And I even thought about maybe doing like a live instead, but sometimes the algorithm for that doesn't work. And so here I am, I'm sharing in this way with you. But if you resonate with this video, I would really encourage you to, comment on it, and I'll, go through those and we can have a dialogue that way, or you can just direct message me. And so I just kind of want to put that out there before I even get started here. Is I have goosebumps everywhere. Like, I have so much that I'd like to share and would love to hear if you resonate. So much of what I personally have been going through is happening collectively around me, and the women, specifically powerful women that I engage with, it's happening in their lives. And we're putting these pieces together around what's actually happening on this deeper experience, this collective experience that we're all having, specifically around how quickly we're shifting, we're shifting timelines, how quickly we are moving through lessons, if you will, or moving through parts of ourselves that aren't even serving us anymore. And specifically, this month, something about this month, maybe it's because we just finished, what we went through that portal of the equinox, right? I find equinoxes to be extremely powerful in shifting timelines. Now, what do I mean by shifting timelines? I'm not going to really spend a lot of time on this because you can look this up. I just listened to a beautiful video on this by Kyle Cease. If you feel called to look that up, he just posted it a couple days ago. But this is so relevant because those of us that are helpers and healers, or entrepreneurs, we're here to bring our own medicine and our own way to the world. We are moving through layers of ourself so quickly, and it's by observing these parts of ourself that we're moving through them. So we're getting the lessons, or we're getting the opportunities to shift so fast. And then when we see it, and as long as we don't hold on to it and identify with it, we can clear it. So for me specifically, what's been coming up is things that resonated for me, or even my clients, a month ago, a week ago, is not relevant to right now anymore. It's almost like whatever that was that needed to be seen or acknowledged or connected to, whatever part of us that was, if it's not necessarily who, if it doesn't have a space in our life where we're going, the choices we're making, it clears really quickly. And so that's why things don't stick as much right now. I also feel like we're, this isn't a whole other video, but I feel like we are moving through plasma. Like life, our reality is less dense than it used to be, and it's much more watery, plasmic. Like we have cleared so much density, and we are moving through like options a lot faster. So we don't necessarily have to play things out like we used to. Maybe we used to, in order to get the lesson or get the integration. And now we just sense it in our field. And for me, it comes into my body. It's like I have my body shows me what stories I'm still holding. It shows me what fears I still have. And then when I sense that in my body, I can literally drop in and talk to it to clear it, as Kyle Cease in his video, he talks about going into your deepest fears. And I just want to bring that up here, is if we don't acknowledge and go into our deepest fears, It's not necessarily that we're going to have to experience it on this material plane in order to clear it, but sometimes maybe that is what happens. So how often do we pull situations subconsciously to us that are really there to help us see something, and then we have the opportunity to clear it. But what if we don't necessarily have to go through that as much as we think? So if we drop into our deepest fear in our body, feel it fully, it's almost like we're afraid to do that because we think that it's going to happen now. But it's not. It's actually the opposite. And he talks about this too, of the observation principle or observation effect, where you observe something and then it shifts it. It actually alchemizes it. And we don't necessarily have to experience it, or maybe we only have to experience a little bit of it, but not the full-blown thing. So I've really been working with this myself recently around going into the places in my body and in my emotional body as well, my light body, and clearing the things that I haven't necessarily wanted to look at, or I've been maybe avoiding on some level. And really, life mirrors to me what I need to see. And so if I can integrate that, then I clear it quicker. And this isn't to say that like life becomes easy and all of a sudden you have no challenges. That's not it at all. But I do feel like when we get supposedly sideswiped by hard lessons, it's because subconsciously we haven't just gone in and like dug it up and looked at it, felt it, experienced it, acknowledged it, and then let it go. So that was one thing I really wanted to share. And how I do that is again, it's through my body. It's through embodied experience, feeling it, sensing it, working with my body, moving it through dance, moving it through song. And that's actually something else I wanted to talk about is, I've been working with a vocal improv teacher, and somebody that I met on the Big Island when I was living there. And she's just an amazing human. And what we've been working with is singing about the things that I want to come closer to me, singing about the things that I want to feel more and experience more in my body. There are a multitude of reasons why singing actually alchemizes and heals things so much faster than just visualizing and writing it down and manifesting that way, or pulling it in that way. Now that's super important too. I feel like free writing, grounding it into this reality, bringing it from the ether here, visualization is always so powerful as well, because you're working with the senses that way. And as those of you that are familiar with the Yothera method, you understand how we rewrite the stories of our, we rewrite those old stories into new stories. And this is how we do it through the body, is using the senses. But this new layer that's coming through that wants to kind of be added in, which I'm in the process of doing right now, is using the voice, but not just speaking it and being seen, which is already part of the method, but it's singing. And it doesn't mean like, oh, I have to sound good and I have to create, I have to come up with a song. Although that is actually what I've been doing, is creating lyrics to go with, certain very simple chorus chords that can, I'm creating the verses to go with the chorus that can assist me in pulling in the experiences that I want. And it's not just the experiences that I want that only serve me, right? It's about inviting in experiences that are for the good of all. And sometimes that's not on my timing. And that's, as an entrepreneur, I'm sure those of you that really work with creation constantly, right? It's not always on our timing. And that doesn't mean that it was wrong. And it doesn't mean that it wasn't true at that time. It just means we need to surrender a little bit more to the timing and the process of what is in the greatest good of all. And we just keep showing up. We just keep showing up to the shifting timelines and the shifting needs of those we serve, and also ourselves. So if we know we're shifting pretty quick, we know that those we're serving are also shifting quickly. And so we have to stay open. We have to stay more fluid, right? with what we're creating. So back to the voice, using your voice for creation, conscious creation, is key. And again, I'm not going to go off on a big tangent around this, but there's a lot of research out there as to why the sound of your own voice gets into the subconscious and also the nervous system, and it helps actually regulate your nervous system so much faster. It creates a sense of safety when you hear your own voice, and not only hear your own voice, but sing your voice, like your own song, and receiving the sound and song of yourself is so soothing. It's so soothing. And so the more you can kind of maybe open to that, and here's a simple thing you can try. You don't have to go do voice lessons. You don't have to do vocal improv, although you can. Like me, it's been super healing to have that space be held for me. But you can do this right now when you're driving, when you're in the shower. Instead of singing lyrics to a song that you know on the radio or whatever, you can just sing like you would be talking to a friend and telling a friend what you want to experience. You can just sing it. You can just sing as though you're talking, like talk sing is what I call it. Just talk sing. Doesn't have to have like a rhyme or reason or anything. Just talk sing to yourself. Hear your own voice in any melody that comes out, and just take your time and have fun with it and flow with it. So again, just play. There's no agenda. You really can't do it wrong. You're just receiving yourself in this vibrational frequency way that is speaking more to the cellular level of your body, your energy, and also your subconscious. And then it's soothing your nervous system. So those are the two things I really wanted to share today. And I'm just kind of like sensing, there's so many people out there right now that feel lost. We're in this in-between stage right now, and this is very real in my experience, is we are kind of like, we sense the rumblings of something coming, right? Like we can almost feel this new beginning. We're like, okay, I feel you, like almost like an animal that senses an earthquake coming. But the 3D kind of things haven't come in yet, at least for some of us. Maybe yours are coming in and you're starting to feel, the vibrational results. Like they're coming in, whether it's people, opportunities, situations, like they're starting to come in. Mine aren't quite here yet, but I feel them. And I feel like so many of us are in that space of like trust. Like how deeply can we trust that what we sense is coming? And we don't need to force anything. We don't need to push. We're being divinely set exactly where we need to be to receive exactly what we need. And so there's less that we have to do, I think. There's more trust, more surrender, more trust and surrender. And also like a meeting, like a weaving with something bigger than our human self with the ego. So maybe there are things that we need to do, like to co-create with something bigger than us, but we don't necessarily need to like take it on, all of it. We just need to meet it with certain small steps. I do feel like it's small steps. And if it's not right in front of you to do, maybe don't do it. So you'll know, it'll be right in front of you. If there's something that you need to do, truly need to do, you will know because it will be right in front of you. But if you're kind of future projecting out of fear, hoping that you're not gonna, lose something, or anything out of fear that you're kind of future projecting and trying to get ahead of, my recommendation or my suggestion that I'm also working with is to just do what's right in front of you and don't get too ahead of yourself, because coming back around to what I said at the beginning, we're changing so fast, and maybe you're just seeing this thing to clear it, not necessarily to like do anything about. Maybe this fear that you might be sensing is coming up to be seen, to be healed, to be acknowledged that way, and then cleared instead of to hook into, worry about, and try and react about. So this is already a 15-minute long video. If you've made it to this point, I'm so grateful. Thank you. Thank you for sticking with me here, and also would love to hear if any of this resonates for you. If it does, please put your thoughts in the comments. Like, I would really enjoy that. I'd love to connect in that way. And again, I'm really passionate, personally, really passionate about connecting with those of you that identify as a helper or a healer. And when I say healer, please don't misconstrue that as we heal people. That's not what I mean by that. But we are able to bring our own gifts to a healing container and facilitate great healing opportunities based on our own gifts of knowing how to hold those spaces, knowing how to create sacred space for people to heal. That is a gift. And I do believe that is somebody that identifies as a healer. We don't heal people, but we do create the container and the spaces that facilitate great transformation. So those of you that identify as a healer, for others, working one-on-one with others, those are my people. Those are the people that I want to connect with. And super, super grateful for those of you that have come into my life through the Yothera method or through my work. So I want to say thank you for trusting me. And I learn from you just as much as you learn from me. And the healing goes both ways. So as I've learned to see my clients as deep reflections and mirrors for me, this has assisted me in being able to alchemize and heal myself through doing this work. And it's also helped me not be as burned out. And there are still times where I feel burned out. I feel, like things are too heavy that are being brought to my table or to my, awareness. But I think that's the opportunity that I have in those moments to look at, what is this bringing to me that feels heavy in me, that needs my attention? Why does this feel heavy? What is it within me that's still identifying with needing to hold the heaviness? Or is it triggering something? Are they bringing something to me that's triggering something in me that feels heavy? It's not necessarily them. It's whatever is in me still that needs my attention and needs that clearing. So again, if that resonates, would love to hear. So thank you so much for listening. And reach out if it feels good to you. So to connect. Have a lovely day.